Hello, friends. Welcome back to Magic with Melly. How is everyone doing today? Thank you for coming to my channel if you're new here. Thank you for coming to my channel, period, if you've been tuning in. I really appreciate your support over the time that you've been with me. I'd like to begin with the giant rider weight. It's beautiful energy seeing the sun come out and the four wands, as you can see in the title, and you clicked on it. Celebrate using your creativity channels. If you've got something good going on for you, expand on the good things by falling towards the things that make you happy. Maybe creating something, maybe it's about manifesting something that you want, that you can go out and purchase a item off of your wish list that would boost your creative channels or your hobbies. It could be a matter of, when you do have free time or money, that you do go out and buy the tools that you need to do what you love. It could be all sorts of energies. It could be that you need to hear that message today, or that it's validating for you to hear exactly what you have been doing recently, just falling more into your hobbies and enjoying yourself more in your free time. But particularly, I think that if you are within this energy when things are well, then it will sort of minimize or even diminish when things aren't going very well, maybe in the backgrounds or behind the scenes. If things aren't going well, you can also use your art or your creativity, that channel, whatever you do, whether you're a painter or a singer like I am, or if you use other methods to channel out like how you're feeling or just something to do in your free time. Drawing, some people draw, a lot of people they work out and they look for creative ways to work out. Hardcore parkour, that's a workout. Line dancing, going dancing, there's just really creative ways in which you can celebrate yourself. I think that's another message here, is maybe you don't celebrate yourself very often or at all, and you should be doing that more often, and you should really allow yourself the time and space to do what you want, or to do something new or something different as a treat for working so hard or being so proactive in your environments where you do have to put effort in, not just in a career or financial environment, but just like treating yourself for getting through all the tasks and things that are requested and required, and things that you're responsible for. And so I think it's really great to see this energy here. This could be a really specific message for some people, but maybe some of you are celebrating announcements, like baby announcements, having babies on the way, or you recently had a child, a new baby pop out. But that's obviously, if it's not for you, it's not for you. But if it is for you, this is your validating message, and this is the general reading. So I'm trying to read everybody. Excuse me. The reading capped out. So I don't know if I still have my whole video. It appears that maybe I do. So I'm just gonna roll with it and hope that my messages didn't get blocked out. But continuing on, I have the Knight of Wands as the back of the deck energy. So I think just being really continuing to be progressive, but progressive and also protective of your situation in all aspects, not just only focusing on your goal. Like if you're so focused on your goal and then someone maybe disagrees with you and you just go full on extreme, they just became your enemy because they said one very like minor comment. Just be careful, like protect, it's fine to protect yourself and your situation and like what's important to you. But some people may just have like that minor misunderstanding and maybe don't really, it doesn't necessarily warrant them like for you to lash out on them just for disagreeing. They have the a right to their own opinion, and if they don't believe in something with you, you don't have to take that in, and you don't have to force them to believe in something with you and stuff. Like, but you don't have to be like harmful with your words or actions just because there's a disagreement. And you can kind of just like let it fizzle out or do its thing, and so that you can do your thing and you can focus, like, rather than pulling in a negative energy at all. That in a indirect way kind of distracts you from the goal anyway, like, because you're focusing so much on this person who disagrees with you instead of spending time with your situation that is important to you. Is like everybody is important to you, like clearly your response to how they feel towards, like, like if they like you or like your situation or not, like you feel sensitively towards that, so clearly it matters to you. But also your passions and what's important, like the other thing that's important, matters to you. So finding kind of weighing out what is worth leaving behind, like for the what, like between one decision or another decision. Really deciding, being decisive. Sorry, my kitty wants to leave the room. Being decisive of what would be like minimal with damage, like what would cause the least amount of harm, and what would kind of be for the best for all, like what situations would grant um like potentials, like kind of weighing out potentials, weighing out this or that, just to maybe prepare yourself amongst the choices that you do have to make. You do have to kind of think out, either like think it into how do I want to word what I'm thinking, like what's being downloaded. Pretty much you have option A, and you're like, option A happens, and then B happens, and then C happens, and you kind of have that idea in mind. And then you have the alternative, which would be option Z and Y and X. Then that sort of collective, and you're kind of like really playing all that out and weighing out, like, well, is that plausible for me? Like if things had went their way, would that have been smooth? Is that in alignment for me? It may be in alignment for them, for that situation, but is it in alignment with me? How much of it is in alignment with me? Because you can be, like 1 foot in and 1 foot out, kind of like halfway under the blanket and halfway out of the blanket with a fan on, and like something like that. And so you could get really, situations can get quite complicated with finding your own balance, because balance isn't a clear cut 50-50. Everybody has their own measurements of what works for them. Not if you take like the personality test, you get the percentage of introvert versus extrovert that you are. And so just really understanding that for yourself and applying yourself in your connections and applying yourself in your situations. I think many of you have already been doing that, but just a reminder here that if you don't know, or if you do need the reminder, that that is probably a really valuable thing to consider when managing anything outside of you, like when managing anything, just making sure that, do I have enough time for this person or for this job? Do I have enough time, or, am I paying enough attention to my hobbies or my partner or my family? Am I like actually in my role in my life? Ground the good things that are happening, like have that role in your life, like lead yourself a great life. Don't just let things happen to you and just, flop over when stuff gets in a funk. You can minimize that. You can really bring in abundance for yourself. You could really make things less difficult for yourself. But it's all about opening that portal and like granting yourself that, and being such as being open to services like card reading services, spirituality questions. It could be all sorts of different situations that may benefit you just overall with your well-being, accepting in mental health therapy. It could be just grounding, finding ways to ground what's already going well, and then preserving like a situation that would minimize how bad it gets when you do like hit low spots, because nobody's life is perfect. Like we're gonna have our downs, we're gonna have our lessons, and it's all about making sure we learn them, making sure we're always adjusting as things change. We're changing with those things, and we're ultimately taking in the lessons and spreading love even through difficulty, and like powering through and finding the proper times for rest, finding the right times to say yes and the right times to say no, and not feeling guilty for that, really being like ready to walk away from choices that are less than love towards you. Okay, choosing love, choosing. Sometimes the difference is some of our peoples haven't they frequently have chosen pain, and and it's the new change of pace is choosing love within yourself. I think that some of us have walked a path unknowingly seeking the love that we need for ourselves, like we want it in our intimate connections, our family and friend connections. We want it so bad. And what most times is we just don't even see is that we're looking for it so much because we need to give that to ourselves. And then we'd be able to see it. We'd be able to find it so much easier amongst our peers, amongst our loved ones, if we do love ourselves first. Like we'd be able to see them reflecting back the energy that you have. But if you don't even have the energy of love towards yourself, how could you even see it? If you're so desperate to look for it, how can you see it if you haven't already recognized it within yourself? But that's just some a long 10-minute tangent on just the big tarot. I'm going to shuffle out some tarot. I'm going to sandwich the tarot and oracles as always. So I have 2 tarot decks, pre-shuffled oracles, and the last deck's right there. So let's get into it. Messages for my Melly Monday collective. Thank you for coming in and hanging out. And I hope these messages work out for you this time. If not, then maybe this isn't your reading, and maybe a future reading will work out for you. I'm sure there will be plenty of videos for you to choose from and one will resonate. Not always will Spirit have messages specifically for you. Maybe you're doing just fine without spiritual guidance, but I do have a lot of people in the collective that need spiritual guidance, and so thank you for riding through the tough times. I know that a lot of my collective has had a rough few weeks, a rough few months even. So here's coming up from that and shifting 2022 into something greater, grounding greatness, celebrating your successes. You're going to have successes this year. I'm just definitely want us to be affirming that. Maybe affirm it in the comments. There's messages for Melly Monday. Messages for Melly Monday. Okay. I'm going to start off with this. It says Queen of Swords. All right, and then I have Queen of Cups. Three of Wands reverse. Next out, I'm seeing it like this. Seven of Cups. The Tower reverse and Page of Swords reverse. Oh, and I'm also seeing the Empress reverse. If you're seeing that, all of these reverses. All right, with the Queen of Swords, Queen of Cups next to each other, and the Three of Wands reverse, I really feel like, and then also next to the Seven of Cups, I just really feel like the collective, you know, the people here in this reading who, you know, the title resonated with you, maybe the beginning messages resonated with you. Now we're here with the tarot. Okay, I'm really seeing that when it comes to this journey, you do not see either of the situations that are currently, you know, within your sights. You don't see it fully. You just don't see it fully, and it makes you sort of ponder like where you should be putting your energy because of the current circumstances at hand, that you're not sure, you know, where you are feeling energetically or emotionally. Should you put more energy to withdraw? Should you like give not sort of like when it comes to the journey, when it comes to like your feelings and speaking up, you don't know whether or not you should speak up. You don't know whether or not you should you know, apply yourself and how to apply yourself. And like you're really faced with decisions like, what could it be? Like what can I do here? What, like there's all sorts of types of questions that you're wondering about. It could be about a specific person, like how can I approach the person? How can I approach, like maybe it's your manager, maybe it's your partner, maybe it's someone you're in your household. There's something that has to be spoken up about in the situation, and you don't see it playing out very well, or you don't see it like how it could play out smoothly. And with the Empress here in reverse, the Tower in reverse, the Page of Swords in reverse, it's all to say that you're where your perspective is coming from, and that like just having, let me see the back of the deck energy. Back of the deck energy is Page of Wands reverse. So I feel like just you're really worried about being a target because you have connectivity to your intuition, and it's probably a really good intuition, and it really highlights people's shadow aspects, you know, some of the dark elements, the things that they don't like to deal with, the things that they don't want to deal with, the things that they sort of suppress and hide away, and it makes them feel really small. Well, if you have a really strong intuition, you can see straight through that, and it makes them want to crumble. And all it takes is you existing. You know, maybe you say one word or one phrase, or like just seeing your face, and it makes them feel or the situation. It gets the situation to be feeling really insecure. Um, whether it's another, like your part, like whoever it is, like it's just like if you have strong intuitive abilities, it really can put you in a situation when you're dealing with people who don't want to deal with their situations or deal with their problems, like, and that makes things more complicated because everyone has their own set of problems. And then if someone's like pushing their problems onto someone else, like, that makes it difficult for you, like, and they're just kind of being lazy about their situations and stuff. So just maybe if there's a big decision looming over your head about um how productive am I being towards my problems, how productive is my partner being towards the problems, how productive is the work environment. You could be very pondering all these questions over, maybe over the last few weeks, or even starting this week or after this reading. It just varies depending on who's in this collective. But just definitely with the Page of Swords reverse, I feel like the energy regarding the communication is just very chaotic and just very triggering right away in the environment. And if I just have the deck, it says Six of Wands reverse. Just the need to really like, balance this out, like assess what is overflowing and what is underflowing as far as energy goes towards whatever it is, whether it's communication, whether it's your finances, like if you need an increase in flow in finances, or if you need an increase in spending in finances, or it could be a number of things. But just rebalancing all these things, like, do I have enough fun in my life? Am I working too much? Like, sincerely ask yourself these questions, and like apply that into your choices when you're grounding. Like, how can I approach, with the chaotic communication, how can I approach the communication in which we can actually ground understanding, right? Or when you say, maybe you won the lottery, okay, and you want to celebrate all the money that you just received, instead of just blowing all the money, maybe ground a situation that will like keep fueling this new energy that you just got. So just like find those creative ways to keep going as you are. But that's some wonderful energies. Let's get into the oracle now. Grounded, it says, many of the most evolved beings on earth are regular folks living with joy, dignity, and courage. And so that's a beautiful message there. It says energetic clearing. During crisis, the Holy One herself may be emptying you of fear and attachments, preparing you to receive her luminous plan. This one says worth. You have been worthy to belong to love all along without any need to improve. In fact, you are love itself. I'm going to go forward, and this one says first quarter moon in Sagittarius. Believe in your good luck. New moon in Scorpio. Go deeper. New moon in Libra. Know you are loved. Last quarter moon in Aries, work through your feelings. Last quarter moon in Capricorn, leave the past behind. And this one says last quarter moon in Pisces, take less, feel more. But this one was in reverse. So let me get into what's out right now. We were just talking about grounding, right? I think it's a wonderful thing to want to ground while the good things are occurring. I was just saying that. But just making sure that you are in the energy as well of recognizing that, I think I was saying it earlier in the reading too, like everywhere, everything and everywhere you've been, the summation of good and bad, Like, the card literally says, "Many of the most evolved beings on Earth are regular folks living with joy, dignity, and courage." So it's like just going through your life and having your life experiences, just really being here in the now and being just accepting and being, like, right here, right where like, just the summation of it is, like, you are here now and being happy and cool with that and looking forward with that, Um, but not too future forward, because you could end up being stuck in the future and not here. And then, you're stuck in a future that maybe you haven't created or doesn't exist. And that's sort of a nightmare where you're in your own mental prison. And so you can only really create your future now. And so just making sure that you're grounding and, it's just clearing, like, not being in the past as well, like, using your past as just a perhaps, like, an object to have gratitude towards, like, the past as some, uh, abstract object that you can place gratitude on, like, I'm thankful for my past because it's brought me here, and just energetically clearing, like, and I'm saying like a lot because I'm trying to catch up with my brain and say it in a way that's like my brain's running miles a minute, and then I'm trying to get the words out and have make it make sense. But with the energetic clearing card here, definitely there could be attachments to the past and attachment to fear and attachment to just what you have seen, like you can't really unsee or unexperience what you've seen and experienced, you were there. And so if that was really traumatizing or a hard thing to get through, just know that it is now in your past. You can clear that. It has been cleared. You are protected. You are safe now. You're not in your situation that you were in before, and that you can energetically clear from, returning to this space and knowing that you're worthy of better than what has occurred to you and that you never deserved, some of the really bad things that happened to you. But it's like you do to some degree if you need to learn something, but you don't deserve to be upset, like just know that you belong to love, that love belongs to you, that's always something that is your divine right to experience is love. And so if you have not experienced love, you're about to. If you have experienced love and you don't know what to do with it, just believe in it. Believe with the quarter moon in Sagittarius, believe in your good luck. New moon in Scorpio, go deeper. Don't hold back from love. I feel like some of us don't feel like we deserve it, aren't used to experiencing it when we do experience it, don't know what it's like when it's there, and then self-sabotage. It could be a number of things. New moon in Libra, know you are loved, work through your feelings. I think that if you don't even realize that you're afraid of love or have a hard time surrounding love, then you just make your own situation complicated. So you need to have the time and space to really leave the past behind, leave your feelings, like when you do return to the past, about like when you're talking about it, really just make sure that you've processed it, that you've felt all the feelings that you need to feel and maybe recovered those feelings. Like sometimes we hold on to bad feelings when the situation or even the event or whatever occurred is long past, years pass, and you're still talking about it in such a bad light. And it's like you can just have a takeaway from it and be like, well, I just learned that XYZ isn't meant for me, and I'm thankful for that, and instead of like taking in all of it and being like, it was a horrible experience. It's like, yes, we know it was a horrible experience. People have horrible experiences, but like, what did you take from it? Like, all you're taking from it is that it was a horrible experience. But, you can go deeper again with the new moon in Scorpio. You can go deeper into how your experience went and be like, well, how did that cut out my character? How did that actually who I am? What did I learn about myself? Am I a person that likes like being in a like in corporate structure? Am I a person that likes being in freelance structure of work? Am I a person that needs a lot of physical touch or very little physical touch? Do I need a lot of communication, or is minimal communication like fine? Because everyone has their own measurements of what they need, and so just really looking for what you need to take and what and how to feel, like processing how you feel towards that. With the take less feel more, this card in reverse, I really just feel like it's all about, it says take less, but I was like, literally I'm saying like take more from your situation. Like what can you learn more than that you learned that it was a horrible situation? Like what more is there than that? Like, and not just using that as a target to just shit talk on someone or shit talk on an experience. Like, don't just shit talk stuff. Like, really, because, like, what is that really doing? That's not really proactive to anyone's well-being. It's just shit talking. And so really yeah, it's great it's fine to be in your feelings, and maybe that's how you release your feelings is shit talking, but make sure that it's productive and it leads you to something that will help you take your next steps to some degree, is maybe where I'm getting with that. But the next card says Aurora Borealis. I think these cards will be great for like any synchronicities, any signs that you're looking for that might be validating, but it could also just be a cool way to test my intuition for you guys and see if I pick up what's going on. I have Shore in reverse. I have Gazelle. I have the card Eggplant. I have BuzzFeed Yellow in reverse. Tornado in reverse. Armadillo reverse. I have Coral Reef reverse. Chicken Nugget. Corporate Blue reverse. And Forest. Okay, that Corporate Blue was just reminding me of earlier. I was saying like sometimes corporate structure isn't for you. And with that reverse card, maybe that is something that you're actually realizing, that you maybe want to make that shift from the corporate world into something that's more artistry or more freelance, perhaps. Then that's like your next move. That's for very few of you, because some of you actually enjoy the corporate world, but maybe need a break, maybe need a vacation, need to spend time, maybe at the beach or going to the forest. I have some individuals who really love nature, Aurora Borealis. I think it's just the Aurora Borealis card, I'm really just reading that as like just a beautiful event, going on a vacation. Some of you really need this vacation time, really just need the special one-on-one time with your partners, or special one-on-one time or family time, whatever it is, or just slowing it down and really diving into nature when you do give yourself the time and space. But I'm reading multiple energies here with these oracle cards, because I'm seeing the eggplant. All right, eggplant as a meme, as an emoji, represents some sexy time. And I really think that when it comes to your situation, you could be like a gazelle, you could be maybe the innocent energy, or you seek an innocent energy when it comes to your intimate partner. Maybe your intimate partners, they get really, really turned on to, perhaps as well. BuzzFeed Yellow, there's some talk going about drama, and it really sort of stirs up the situation. It stirs up chaos, drama, but you guys have a like hard shell of it, and like laugh and sort of make a colorful situation of it, and perhaps share a meal and share good times and let things roll on and roll off your back, but that's just a perspective for energies that I'm seeing with like the eggplant card, and in a sense, like really just going for a refresh in energy. Maybe you need that, and you can get that by having maybe a new partner if you need that, or finding ways to swirl things up a bit. It's really just up to you what your next steps are. Do you like, what are you looking for ultimately? You're very close to achieving your goal, gibbous moon. You and your loved ones are safe, new moon in Cancer. Your hard work is paying off, new moon in Capricorn. Adjustments are required, third quarter moon. The energy is gaining momentum, waxing moon. And take time to breathe out, disseminating moon. Lovely, 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 lovely. Okay, so on this track, you will realize that if you don't feel very close, you're going to be starting to feel like more validated that you are close to what you want to do. Either close to a decision, close to, getting closer and closer every day to like this ultimate bigger goal that you have. You're just very close to recognizing something here. And that when you do have this recognition, or when you do come to this place of like, you are there at your goal is like graspable. If you pursue the goal, continue pursuing the goal, just keeping having the goal in mind, in sight, you and your loved ones will be safe. You don't have to worry about how things will turn out in regards to them, as long as your focus is in proper alignment, and like all that will be fine. No need to worry about that. The hard work will pay off. There is going to be some sort of adjustments, because with the hard work paying off, you are going to hit some sort of plateau or pause, just because with any sort of, like they say, growing pains, there's going to be like growing pains, and with growing pains with things, it's going to, right, like when you literally physically have growing pains as a child, as a developing child, and you have growing pains, adjustments are required. You get new clothes, you get bigger clothes, or or like hard work paying off. If you lost a lot of weight or gained weight and you put some work into that, yeah, you will need new clothes for your new body shape, because your hard work paid off. You feel more comfortable in your own skin, whether you're thick or skinny. It's all like energetically how you feel, and having confidence you're going to be gaining momentum with that, regardless of what's going on or what you're choosing, what your goals are. If you do have a specific goal and you're doing something towards it, or you start doing something towards it, if you choose it, you will be safe. That's your reminder. The hard work will pay off, and that you have to expect some sort of changes, and being like, expect them, accept them, and be with them, and flow with them, flow your energy with the changes. Don't be too specific. Don't have to like with your expectations, like don't really apply an expectation on a person. The only expectation you should have is how you show up for yourself. So breathe through that, and sort of uh, take that and process that, like how much of a role you are playing in your life, and how much of it you're pushing that onto someone else or something else, and really use your power to do greater, and celebrate, and be joyous, like just really enjoy the power of choosing. And it's like choosing something different, choosing confidence, or choosing like just it's it's going to be uncomfortable because it's new. I had a reading on that about discomfort in that regard, but you'll eventually find, like you have your first experience. You rate it with a thumbs up or a thumbs down. You give it a thumbs up, go again. And then like your comfort towards the situation has increased by a +1 or a plus 10%, whatever you want to see it as. Okay, but you will definitely see yourself through your situations and be validated, many times validated. Coming up, cozy up with risk. This card says creator water, but in reverse. This one says feed your artist, and the sacred flow of yes, but in reverse. And this one says accept and receive, reverse. So ultimately, I think the uncomfortable situations, it's all about the risk. And with the cozy up with risk, and you hear the phrase like big risk comes with big rewards, it is sort of true. If like you risk like, oh well, what if it's going to be a bad experience? You're risking a bad experience, but you're also on the other end, like a duality thing, risking a good experience by not going. So really, which one do you want to take on? Do you want to be unknowingly rejecting a good experience, or knowingly, like, I don't know how to properly word that in a way that will like help you, but it's like if it is a bad experience, at least you'll learn not to go there again, and in the future it won't be looming over your head. Like, it won't be an anxiety or such an unknown. You do know, because I feel like sometimes what's worse is not knowing. Creator water, that card, I really think it's just based off of how you feel. Um, if you honestly, energetically don't have it in you to go, like, don't feel guilt or shame for not wanting a specific energy or specific situation. If you do have information and that changes your mind, you have a right to change your mind, and that you can go towards feeding your artist, rather than going out. You don't have to, because the card sacred flow of yes, you do not have to say yes to everything. Peer pressure is an awful thing of like, oh man, you don't wanna blah blah blah. It's like, then you kind of like, well, I want them to like me, and they're showing that they may not like me, or they seem like they don't like the situation now. So like, if you just kind of accept and receive card in reverse, if you really just see that, um just because you don't want to give someone an energy or an energy, like, just because, like, and it wasn't received well, it doesn't mean you have to accept how they're treating you. Like, I feel like that's a really specific phrase. Like, just don't accept how someone's treating you because you didn't want to give towards a situation that wouldn't have been good for you, knowing what you do know, or whatever it is. Like, it is all right to be risky. Like, if there's like a big unknown about how something will go, well, then take the risk. Like, it could be a good or a bad experience. Don't be so afraid. You'll learn something anyway. But with certain information, like, if you already know that it wouldn't pan out very good for you, for something to go a certain way, knowing what you know, like, if you have information such as like the group of people are going to be going and doing this, and you initially thought a different thing that wasn't that, and you don't have the time, you can't afford the time, or you can't afford the travel means. Like, you can't say no. Like, the sacred flow of yes being in reverse, like I was just saying, like, really, you don't have to say yes to everything. If you said yes before and something about the information or the event changed, you can change your mind too. Things can be updated, your situation can be updated. Really channel how you feel towards your art, towards anything that's not another person, honestly, because another person doesn't deserve you taking out your feelings on them. Even if it is about them, like, you can process that and deal with it separately, and maybe approach lovingly, or separate lovingly, whatever feels right for everybody. Accept and receive, it's really just a complicated story of what you give, what you want to receive, figuring that out in your workplace, figuring that out in your partnerships. Are you getting what you want? Are you giving what they want? And yeah, things get kind of twisty when things have to be updated all the time. People's minds change, people's feelings change, people's situations change, people come and go, people especially the more people that are in the mix, the more situations that are in the mix, the more complicated things can get. So just really be comfortable with your own self and your own set of risks, what you're willing to take in, as far as how much of a bad experience it may or may not be, how much of a chance there is that something good will happen. Believing more in good stuff happening to you rather than something bad happening to you, because you could accidentally manifest bad situations just by thinking about them. Just like you can feel really lucky because you had a really like good thought, and then that thought actually happened. It can happen the other way around, where you can accidentally manifest an accident, or like just something bad happening to somebody. But overall, I think not to be too worried or concerned about your manifesting. Just being in a positive flow will get you very, very far alone, without specific services. But there are specific manifesting services if you need help with that. I do offer those. I have crystal healing, chakra balancing, and crystal manifesting services. So let me know if you're interested in that. But I have the Nine of Cups, just ending with a tarot spread here. Nine of Cups reverse, the Hierophant reverse right there. I'm seeing also Six of Cups reverse, Ace of Pentacles, Seven of Wands, and Four of Pentacles, all right there, if you can see. Nine of Cups reverse. I really think the the test, your commitment's gonna be tested. All right, your commitment's definitely gonna be tested. And don't worry so much when that happens. You'll see how your response is, what your reaction is, what you do when the time comes to it. Don't be so taken aback by what is ahead when you do choose something. I know earlier I was saying, like, you do sort of have to plan out, like measure, like, look forward enough, like with option A versus option Z. Option A has B, C, D behind it, and then Z, option Z has like Y and X surrounding it. And so it's like, which situation do you take in? But don't let all of this energy, this future energy, block you from choosing the commitment, right? Once you choose the commitment, you'll get there when you get there. Just like, go be forward or future thinking when it comes to just the decision process. But when it comes to actually going down the journey, just enjoy it. Just enjoy it. Especially with this Ace of Pentacles, because you're going to be living it. So when you live it, enjoy it. Don't be in the future, because the future is always changing. So if you're if the future is changing, you might be stuck in a future that might not happen if you do not create now, if you're not here now, if you're not living now, living in your journey. Seven of Wands, Four of Pentacles, be patient. You know, once you choose something, be patient. It will, you may be seeing it in a crystal ball, and maybe you may be seeing it in your dreams, in your future, right? But once you see your future, do the things today towards that. You know, like the best example for me is saying like, oh, I'm going to be monetized on YouTube. I'm not seeing that today, but I see that in my future. So that's what sort of, I have to hold patience over that, because I'm acting as like I'm taking action today for a future I don't know if I'm going to have, or you know, just all sorts of different, like it's just a personal sort of words on what I mean by when you choose something, having patience and then just trusting that it will happen as long as you keep taking action for it. And the back of the deck was Eight of Swords, unstucking yourself from any self-limiting beliefs, truly. But I did have a glitch in the reading earlier today, so I hope that this reading fully processes in the way that I hope it might. I hope that there's only a short pause and that it captured everything else, but we shall see. I hope that Melly Monday is good for this Melly Monday, January 24th. Of course, though, this reading is timeless. So whenever you are finding it, regardless of it being January or 2022, it probably has a message that is helpful for you. So let me know in the comments how we have connected. I'd love to hear from you. I am Magic with Melly. You can find me on many platforms. You can ask me questions about my services at any time. I offer card readings and crystal healing. And subscribe and follow me wherever if you want to. I am thankful for our shared existence. And this is goodbye for now. I'll see you throughout the week and definitely next Monday. Okay, goodbye.